Setting the stage, a world of corporate intrigue. The glass walls of the office shimmered under the city lights. Inside, the air buzzed with whispered secrets and unspoken anxieties. This was the world of high-stakes business, where ambition fueled ruthless competition. At the heart of it all was Titan Corp, a multinational giant with fingers in countless lucrative pies. Their success story was one for the books, but behind the polished facade, a darker truth lurked. Jennifer Davies, a woman of sharp intellect and unwavering determination, navigated the corporate jungle with ease. As head of security, she was entrusted with Titan Corp's deepest secrets. Her intuition, honed from years of experience, told her something was amiss. A subtle shift in the atmosphere, a discrepancy in the numbers. Something was rotten in the state of Titan Corp. Little did she know, this was just the tip of the iceberg. A conspiracy was brewing, one that threatened to shake Titan Corp to its very core. As Jennifer prepared to delve into the labyrinth of deceit, she had no idea of the treacherous path that lay ahead. One wrong step, and she could find herself lost in the maze, a pawn in a game far more dangerous than she could have imagined. Faces of Deception, unveiling the players. Jett Hudson, a former intelligence officer with a past shrouded in mystery, was Jennifer's right-hand man. His piercing gaze missed nothing, his sharp mind a weapon against any threat. He was fiercely loyal to Jennifer, a bond forged in the fires of countless challenges they had faced side by side. Together, they were an unstoppable force, ready to take on any threat. But in this shadowy world of corporate espionage, appearances could be deceiving. Mark Ashton, CEO of Titan Corp, was the epitome of charisma and success. His charm was disarming, his ambition boundless. But beneath the veneer of affability lay a cunning mind, always calculating, always in control. Was he the mastermind behind the deceit, or an unwitting pawn in a larger game? And then there was Victoria Chen, the ambitious CFO, her rise to the top fueled by an unyielding hunger for power. Her icy exterior hid a sharp intellect, and she was not afraid to use any means necessary to get what she wanted. As Jennifer and Jett delved deeper, they would encounter a cast of characters, each with their own secrets, their own motives. The lines between friend and foe blurred, alliances shifted like sand in the desert. Trust became a luxury Jennifer could ill afford, for in this world, everyone had something to hide. As the web of deceit unraveled, one question loomed large. Who could Jennifer truly trust? Whispers of doubt, a discrepancy uncovered. Jennifer's gaze swept across the lines of financial data displayed on her computer screen, a frown etching its way onto her face. Something wasn't adding up. It was a small discrepancy, easily overlooked, but her instincts screamed that something was wrong. The numbers whispered of deceit, of funds subtly redirected, hidden in the labyrinthine depths of Titan Corp's accounts. She leaned back in her chair, the city lights outside her window painting the glass with a kaleidoscope of colors. The city that never slept was a fitting backdrop for the world she inhabited, a world where fortunes were made and lost in the blink of an eye, where trust was a currency more valuable than gold. Jennifer's fingers danced across the keyboard, her mind working at lightning speed as she delved deeper into the financial records. Each click was a step further into the rabbit hole. Each line of code peeled back another layer of the carefully constructed facade. The more she uncovered, the more certain she became. This was no accident, no simple error. Someone was actively trying to cover their tracks. A thrill, both exhilarating and terrifying, shot through her. This was what she lived for. The thrill of the chase, the satisfaction of unraveling a complex puzzle. But this time, the stakes were higher than ever. This wasn't just about numbers on a screen. This was about exposing a betrayal that could bring down the entire corporation. The hunt begins following the money trail.
Jett, I need you in my office.
She needed to be sure, needed confirmation before she took this any further. Jett, with his sharp instincts and unwavering loyalty, was the only one she could trust with this.
I think we have a problem. These numbers are off. Someone's been cooking the books. S5. You sound serious. What's going on?
Jett leaned closer, his eyes scanning the data, his expression hardening as he absorbed the implications.
Is this sloppy work?
A shared look of determination passed between them, a silent acknowledgement of the dangerous path they were about to embark on. The hunt was on. S4, or overconfident. Either way, we need to find out who's behind this and how deep it goes. Section 3. Late Night Discoveries, Unveiling Hidden Agendas. As the night deepened, Jennifer and Jett found themselves alone in the office. The only sounds the hum of computers and the distant drone of the city outside. The air crackled with unspoken tension, the weight of their discovery pressing down on them. They worked in a comfortable silence, their movements synchronized, a testament to their years of working side by side. Jett, as Jett. "There," I said, breaking the silence, my voice laced with triumph. "I found it. A series of offshore accounts, all linked to a shell corporation. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to fall into place, revealing a pattern both intricate and disturbing." Jennifer, as Jennifer. "This is bigger than we thought," I murmured, my eyes glued to the screen as I followed the digital trail. Someone's playing for keeps. As they delved deeper, they uncovered a web of deceit that extended far beyond their initial suspicions. It was a tangled web of shell corporations, secret meetings and whispered deals, all pointing to a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of Titan Corp. The closer they got to the truth, the more they realized they were dealing with someone ruthless and cunning, someone who would stop at nothing to protect their secrets. Section 4. The stakes rise. A threat emerges. The late-night silence was shattered by the shrill ring of Jennifer's phone, the sudden noise jarring in the quiet office. She glanced at the caller ID, her heart skipping a beat as she recognized the number. It was Mark Ashton, the CEO, calling at this hour? Something was wrong.
"Jennifer, I need you to come to my office immediately." Ashton's voice was tense, laced with an urgency that sent a shiver down my spine. "There's been a development."
Jennifer exchanged a worried look with Jett, a silent question passing between them. What could be so urgent that it couldn't wait until morning? They both knew this was no ordinary summons. As Jennifer hung up the phone, a sense of foreboding settled over her. The stakes had just gotten a whole lot higher. This wasn't just about uncovering financial irregularities anymore. This was about something far more dangerous. They were walking into the lion's den, and the lion was most definitely awake. Section 1. A chilling encounter face-to-face with the CEO. The CEO's office was a study in contrasts. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a breathtaking panorama of the city that never slept, a symbol of power and ambition. Yet the atmosphere inside was heavy with unspoken tension, the air thick with the scent of expensive cologne and impending danger.
Mark Ashton sat behind his massive mahogany desk, his expression unreadable in the dimly lit room. I had faced down criminals and corporate spies, but something about Ashton's demeanor sent a shiver down my spine. His usual charm was gone, replaced by a chilling aura of control that reminded me of a predator toying with its prey.
I stood beside her, my presence a reassuring weight in the unsettling stillness. Jennifer, as Jennifer. "You wanted to see me, Mr. Ashton?" I asked, my voice betraying none of the unease I felt. My hand instinctively moved to adjust the earpiece connecting me to Tom, our tech expert back at the office, a lifeline in the unnerving silence.
"Jennifer, Jett, please, have a seat." Ashton gestured towards the plush chairs facing his desk. His voice was smooth as silk, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were walking into a carefully orchestrated trap. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but my training kept me rooted to the spot, my face a mask of polite curiosity.
Section 2. Shifting sands of trust, alliances and betrayals. Ashton wasted no time on pleasantries. "There's been a leak," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "Someone within this company has been feeding confidential information to our competitors." His gaze swept over Jennifer and Jett, a silent accusation hanging in the air. Jennifer's mind raced, trying to process this new information. Was this a diversion tactic, a way to deflect from their investigation? Or was Ashton truly unaware of the extent of the conspiracy brewing within his own company?
"We've been working late," Jett said, his voice carefully neutral, investigating a potential security breach. He didn't elaborate, but the implication was clear. They were already on the case, even if Ashton wasn't aware of the specifics.
"I need you to find the leak," Ashton said, his voice laced with steel, "no matter the cost." He leaned forward, his gaze boring into Jennifer. "I trust you to handle this discreetly, Jennifer." This matter is of the utmost importance to the future of this company. As Jennifer and Jett left the CEO's office, a sense of unease settled over them. The lines between right and wrong were blurring, the players in this high-stakes game becoming increasingly difficult to discern. They had been tasked with finding a leak, but what if the leak led straight back to the man who had given them the order? Section 3. The clock is ticking, a race against time. Back at the office, the weight of their encounter with Ashton hung heavy in the air. Jennifer could feel the pressure mounting, the walls seemingly closing in as the clock ticked relentlessly onward. They were caught in a web of deceit, each thread they pulled revealing a new layer of betrayal and danger. "He knows," Jennifer said, her voice barely a whisper as she relayed the conversation with Ashton to Tom. "He knows we're onto something."
"He might be trying to scare us off," Tom suggested, his fingers never slowing. "Throw us off balance."
"Or tie our hands," Jett added, his gaze fixed on the city lights outside the window, a million tiny pinpricks of light in the vast darkness. "Force us to play by his rules."
They were running out of time. Every passing minute brought them closer to exposing the truth, but it also brought them closer to danger. They needed to act fast, to outmaneuver their opponents before the web of deceit tightened around them, crushing them in its intricate grasp. Section 4. A desperate gambit, taking the fight to the enemy. "We need to change tactics," Jennifer said, her voice firm, her resolve hardening with each passing moment. They couldn't afford to be reactive, waiting for Ashton's next move. It was time to take the fight to the enemy. "We need to find the leak before Ashton does," she continued, her gaze sweeping over Jett and Tom, her tone brooking no argument. "We need to beat him at his own game."
Her mind raced, formulating a plan. They needed a distraction, something to draw Ashton's attention away while they followed the trail of deceit to its source. It was a risky move, one that could expose them if they weren't careful, but fortune favored the bold. "Tom, I need you to create a false trail," Jennifer said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Something to make Ashton think we're looking in the wrong direction."
"I'll focus on Ashton's inner circle," Jett said, already moving towards the door. "Someone close to him has to be involved."
The game was on, and the stakes had never been higher. The air crackled with anticipation, every keystroke echoing in the hushed office. Tom, a digital phantom in his element, weaved a tapestry of false leads, a digital smokescreen designed to mislead Ashton and his cohorts. His fingers danced across the keyboard, leaving behind a trail of breadcrumbs, each one leading further away from the truth. Jennifer, her heart pounding in her chest, watched as lines of code scrolled across Tom's monitor, a testament to his digital prowess. "How's it coming?" she asked, her voice a hushed murmur in the stillness.
"Almost there," Tom muttered, his eyes glued to the screen, his fingers a blur of motion. "Just need to plant a few more decoys."
Jett paced restlessly behind them, his gaze flickering between Tom's progress and the door, his hand hovering near the concealed weapon beneath his jacket.
"Any word from your contacts?"
"Nothing concrete," Jett admitted, his jaw tightening. "But there's a buzz, whispers of a major power play in the works. Something big is about to go down." He met Jennifer's gaze, his eyes filled with a mixture of concern and grim determination. "We need to find out what it is, and fast."
The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, but the picture they revealed was more shocking, more devastating than they could have ever imagined. As Tom delved deeper into the labyrinth of financial records, following the intricate trail of deceit, a name emerged from the shadows, a name that sent a chill down Jennifer's spine: Victoria Chen. The ambitious CFO, the woman she had considered an ally, a mentor even, was the mastermind behind the entire scheme. The realization hit Jennifer like a physical blow, leaving her reeling, her senses overwhelmed by a mixture of anger, betrayal, and a profound sense of disbelief.
"It can't be," Jennifer whispered, her voice barely audible above the pounding of her heart. "She wouldn't."
But the evidence was irrefutable, the trail of digital breadcrumbs leading straight to Victoria's door. Transcripts of encrypted messages, secret meetings, and suspicious financial transactions all pointed to a betrayal of trust so profound that it threatened to shatter the very foundations of Titan Corp.
"She played us all," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "But it's not over yet. We can still expose her, bring her down."
The chase was on. With Victoria's betrayal out in the open, there was no time for hesitation, no room for doubt. Jennifer, fueled by a potent mixture of anger and a fierce determination to see justice served, threw herself into the pursuit, her instincts honed from years of hunting down criminals, now focused on bringing down one of their own. They raced through the labyrinthine corridors of Titan Corp's headquarters, their footsteps echoing in the deserted hallways, the silence amplifying the urgency of their mission. Every shadow seemed to hold a threat, every corner a potential ambush.
"She's one step ahead of us," Tom said, his voice breathless as he struggled to keep up with Jennifer's relentless pace. "She must have known we were onto her." "She underestimated us," Jennifer said, her voice laced with steel. "She may have gotten a head start, but this game is far from over."
They could feel Victoria's presence everywhere they went, like a ghost in the machine, her digital fingerprints lingering on every system, every file. But with each step closer, the danger escalated, the stakes rising exponentially. Section 4. Moment of truth, a confrontation looms. The air crackled with tension as Jennifer, Jett, and Tom cornered Victoria in the executive penthouse suite, the city lights sprawling beneath them like a glittering tapestry of ambition and deceit. Victoria, her composure finally broken, her carefully constructed facade crumbling, stood facing them, her back to the floor-to-ceiling windows, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and desperation.
"It's over, Victoria," her voice echoing in the vast, opulent space. "We know what you did." "You have no proof," Victoria shot back, her voice trembling slightly, betraying her carefully crafted veneer of control. "It's your word against mine."
"Don't underestimate us," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "We have all the evidence we need."
Jett stepped forward, his gaze unwavering, his stance radiating an air of quiet menace. Meanwhile, Tom, his fingers dancing across his tablet, projected a holographic display of Victoria's crimes for all to see. The damning financial records, the incriminating messages, the undeniable proof of her betrayal. The moment of truth had arrived. Section 1. Unmasking the truth. A confession extracted. The room crackled with tension. Victoria, her face pale under the harsh glare of the city lights reflecting off the glass walls, stood frozen in place. Denial was futile. The evidence of her betrayal laid bare for all to see. The weight of her crimes, the sheer audacity of her ambition, pressed down on her, threatening to crush her.
"Why, Victoria?" Jennifer asked, her voice surprisingly calm, devoid of judgment, seeking only understanding. "Why risk everything you've worked so hard for?"
Jennifer, her gaze unwavering, watched Victoria's every move, every flicker of emotion, reading her like a book. She had seen this countless times before, the moment when the mask of deception slipped, revealing the raw fear beneath.
"It wasn't supposed to end like this," she murmured, her voice barely audible above the hum of the city outside. "It started small, a way to get ahead, to secure my position."
But greed, like a disease, took root, spreading its tendrils into every aspect of her life, corrupting her from the inside out. She had tasted power, and it had become an addiction, one she was willing to do anything to feed. Jett, his gaze never leaving Victoria, could sense her resolve crumbling. He knew from years of experience interrogating hardened criminals that the truth was a slippery thing, often buried beneath layers of self-preservation and deceit. But sometimes, all it took was a crack in the armor, a moment of vulnerability to bring the whole facade crashing down. Section 2. The tables turn. A twist in the game. Victoria, her voice a mix of shame and desperation, revealed the depths of her betrayal, her words painting a picture of a woman driven to the brink by ambition and fear. She spoke of ruthless competitors, of threats to her career, her life even, painting herself as a victim, a pawn in a larger game. But as Jennifer and Jett listened, a nagging doubt crept into their minds. Victoria's story, while compelling, lacked a certain ring of truth. It was too neat, too rehearsed, as if she were following a script, deflecting blame onto unseen enemies. And then, just as they were about to call her bluff, the tables turned once more. The sound of shattering glass echoed through the penthouse, followed by the heavy thud of footsteps and the glint of cold steel. A group of masked men, armed and dangerous, materialized from the shadows, their movements swift and precise, their intentions clear. They had been played. Jett, his reflexes honed from years of combat training, reacted instantly, shoving Jennifer and Tom to the ground, seeking cover behind a plush sofa as gunfire erupted, the air thick with the smell of cordite and fear. This wasn't part of the plan. This wasn't corporate espionage. This was something far more dangerous. Section 3, the price of betrayal, facing the consequences. Jennifer, adrenaline surging through her veins, drew her own weapon, her movements a blur of trained precision. They were outnumbered, outgunned, trapped in a deadly game whose rules had shifted without warning. Jett, using the cover of the luxurious furniture, returned fire, his shots ringing out with deadly accuracy, forcing their attackers back momentarily. Tom, his face pale but resolute, scrambled for his laptop, his fingers flying across the keyboard, trying to send out a distress signal, to alert someone, anyone, to their plight. Victoria, caught in the crossfire, her eyes wide with terror, realized the true cost of her betrayal. She had made a deal with the devil, and now the devil had come to collect. Jett, using a momentary lull in the firefight, grabbed Jennifer's arm, pulling her towards a side door. "We have to get out of here," he yelled, his voice barely audible above the din. They fought their way through the penthouse, the air thick with smoke and the stench of fear, each step forward a victory against overwhelming odds. But for every attacker they neutralized, two more seemed to take their place. As they reached the stairwell, a bullet caught Jett in the shoulder, spinning him around, the force of the impact sending him crashing against the wall. Section 4, A New Dawn. Picking up the pieces. Jennifer, her heart pounding in her chest, managed to get Jett to safety, patching up his wounds as best she could with shaking hands. They had escaped the penthouse, but the ordeal was far from over. Victoria, her ambition laid bare, her life in ruins, was gone, vanished into the labyrinthine depths of the city, leaving behind a trail of broken promises and shattered lives. In the aftermath of the chaos, as the dust settled and the sirens wailed in the distance, Jennifer and Jett found themselves forever changed by the events that had transpired. They had stared into the abyss, had seen the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the corporate world, and had emerged battered but unbroken, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. The fight for Titan Corp was over, but the battle for their souls, for their faith in humanity, had just begun. They had tasted betrayal, had witnessed the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition, and had emerged not unscathed, but stronger, wiser, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. A new dawn was breaking over the city, and with it, a chance for redemption, a chance to rebuild, to right the wrongs that had been committed, and to create a better future, not just for themselves, but for all those who had been caught in the crossfire. Section 1. Reflections on Deceit, Scars, and New Beginnings. The city lights, once a symbol of ambition and progress, now held a different meaning for Jennifer and Jett. They had witnessed the dark underbelly of the corporate world, the insatiable hunger for power that could corrupt even the most trusted individuals. The events at Titan Corp had left their mark, etching scars on their souls that time might heal, but would never erase. Jennifer found herself questioning everything she thought she knew, the lines between right and wrong blurring in the aftermath of Victoria's betrayal. The weight of her responsibility, the knowledge that she had been entrusted with protecting Titan Corp from threats both internal and external, weighed heavily on her. Jett, his usually stoic demeanor shaken, grappled with the physical and emotional wounds inflicted during their escape. The world suddenly seemed a more uncertain place, filled with shadows and whispers, where trust was a commodity easily broken. And yet, amidst the wreckage of their former lives, a flicker of hope remained. They had faced their fears, confronted their demons, and emerged, battered but unbroken. The bond between them, forged in the fires of adversity, had only grown stronger, a testament to their shared values, their unwavering loyalty to each other. The web of deceit had been unraveled, the truth brought to light, but the journey had irrevocably changed them. They had learned that even in the darkest of times, even when faced with unimaginable betrayal, the human spirit had an extraordinary capacity for resilience, for hope, for finding a path forward towards a brighter, more honest future.